Hey guys, welcome to the very first session of use case brainstorming. So first thing is we will just introduce ourselves. So Gaurav, can you just quickly introduce yourself?
Yes, so hello everyone. Myself Gaurav. I'm a mechanical engineer turned data scientist, and I work in risk analytics domain. I guess you guys have been known if you are following Aman sir. You can have my interviews as well. Take the interviews as well. So that would be it.
Rohan, can you talk a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Rohan. I'm currently pursuing BSc Physics. What is actually I'm doing many projects on machine learning and deep learning. So actually, you see, my background is from BSc Physics. So how my education transition is actually placed means like in BSc Physics, they will use machine learning for cosmic and astrophysics predictions. So yeah, that's what I'm kept admired in machine learning and AI. So I take a deep dive in data science field.
Very good.
That's about me.
Thanks Rohan, and thanks Gaurav for your intro. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, okay? And I'm going to present the use case that I'm talking about, okay? So what we will be doing is we will be taking a use case and we will be understanding how to go about that use case. Okay, we will do some brainstorming session. So there are few parts of it. One is what is the business problem, then we will talk about what kind of solution approach. All three of us will give our views. Okay, and then we will talk about hypothesis list. We will talk about what are the data sources that can be considered for this use case. We will talk about model training and results. Okay, so first of all, let me introduce you to the use case. You can read also, but let me read it out for you. So an online matrimonial portal, Zodi.com, you can think like that, is facing huge problem of fraud profiles on their platform. So people come and create the fraud profiles. Okay. So why people create fraud profiles? For illegitimate activities, obviously. Use their profile for various fraud activities. So this portal is interested in understanding patterns and behavior of these fraud profiles, identify these profiles, and eventually remove these from the platform. So there are like millions of profiles. Out of that, there will be some difference in the behavior of fraud profiles. That pattern, using a data scientist or using a machine learning person, we have to help this platform to know those patterns and identify who is a fraud person, flag them as fraud, and let the platform know these are the potential fraud people. This is the business problem. Okay, so if this is the business problem, then first things to discuss is what kind of solution approach we will take at high level. Okay, will it be a unsupervised solution, machine learning, or a supervised machine learning, or a semi-supervised machine learning? If it's a supervised machine learning or semi-supervised, then what kind of target variable we will have, what kind of hypothesis we can have, and what kind of data we will need. Okay, so Gaurav, can you just give your views on what solution approach do you think will shoot here?
I guess we can solve this problem by it's a supervised machine learning problem. Okay, the target variable being the an ID is fraud or not, either fraud or not, the same as we do in credit card fraud detection. Okay, then obviously being the hypothesis for the hypothesis, obviously the fraud, the fraud value should be much less than the normal values, which are the candidates which are not which haven't done any fraud. Okay, so that would be one. And the data we would like to have is first of all the time duration from when he's active, he's an active member. Then the chats, we could have the chats, the reports. Okay, number of reports people have done uh, uh, for that ID. And
that is a little granular level. That is correct only, but little more granular. So we will discuss those in detail in data section. But here at high level, in which areas you want to capture the data. So let's say chat area is one area, or activity area is other area. Maybe membership area can be the third area, or let's say sales, or these kind of things, high level data. So if you say that you want to capture the chat data, right? Then what is your hypothesis here? What is your assumption here?
Okay. While chat, the most of the at the beginning, I guess it would be a friendly kind of chat, and as the time passes, because if the victim, we can say, is not if he feels that okay, this is only, he will only proceed when he feels that it's a legit account. Okay, he'll feel that the account is legit, then only the chat will progress, right? So at the at the beginning, the chat would be a legit one, a fine one, and then as at the chat processes, then I guess it would turn into fraud. By let's say if a person trying to bribe the user by providing, like he's saying that I have this much of money, I'm working in this domain and all, and he's offering something. These kind of keywords, we can find out, and we can process on that.
Some kind of natural language analysis.
Yes, NLP.
Yeah. Rohan, what is your views? Can we solve it using some other technique, or what will be your hypothesis and data collection approach?
So yeah, as he said, it is solved by supervised learning. As this is a problem, like either this is fraud, or this is original. So this can be, the data can be collected by like their proof, their details, like example other ID or license ID. So cross check and we can give an hypothesis that it is either this or that. Like, yeah, that's what.
For license ID cross checking, you need the government data. You will not have government data.
No, like Aadhaar card, we can use it as a, we can cross check, right? Aadhaar ID. Driving license, it's okay. Then we can replace it with some other details. So Aadhaar card is, I hope it is enough.
Okay, and you are agreeing that it's a supervised.
More than enough.
You are agreeing that it's a supervised learning problem.
Yeah. It comes under classification, right?
Can't we solve it using? I'm just thinking out loud here. Can't we do a segmentation or bucketing kind of thing?
Yes, we can segment data as well for fraud, and what all categories fall into the fraud. What's the pattern for fraud ID, and what's for the normal ID? We can perform segmentation as well.
Right, but we will not have a what to say. We will not have a very good patterns, or we will not be able to tell what is contributing how much to fraud. For example, if we are doing a classification, as Rohan is saying, and if you fit a logistic regression kind of model, then we can say which independent feature is contributing how much to the fraud, right?
Yeah.
But maybe we do a segmentation, that might not be possible. So we will go little detail in the next slide. Okay, for example, what can be the consider, let us finalize on one approach. Okay, let's say we finalize on classification approach. So first thing, tell me that I forgot to discuss there, how both of you give your views, how you will create your target variable.
So obviously target is like fraud or true or false, right? Like,
no, that is when business gives you data in that format, right?
Yeah.
Suppose business does not give you a target column saying 1, 0 or fraud, non-fraud.
Yeah.
And you, from your understanding or your common sense, you have to understand this is a fraud profile. What can be the approaches for that? Just a rule-based engine, rule-based approach I'm talking about. So something like, just to give you some pointers, something like a person was in having 1000 connections and he suddenly disappeared, and when you analyze their chat, then you see something in that, something like that. Or like Gaurav was saying, if a person has been reported suspicious more than X number of times, just an example. Or if a person is kind of changing his photo daily, which does not match, with the previous photo.
Like, so I have an idea. So the picture, like their DPR profile pictures, they are uploading pics, so we can there is some applications like you can cross check their profile photos where they are matching, or their social networks we can cross check like that. So it will analyze it, and it will give you the feed output as this original or not, like that.
We can save the data, we can save the profile picture, and over a period of time, how many times you have changed it, and if all those matches, there's a high chance that it's a legit profile.
Yeah. So there are many ways in which we can obviously take the input from the business as well. For example, what is your say on this? This is how we are defining target variable, right? Because target variable is very, very important here. Which profile are you calling as fraud? This becomes really, really important, right? Because we will be training our model on that. So we ask business, what kind of behavior is most common in fraud profiles? Do they change their pics regularly, or do they come online, in a particular time window? Some things will be there, right? So based on that,
as they coming to online, they visit their profiles, like even ordinary people may differ time to time visits.
correct.
So I don't think it depends on time they come to online or not.
Or it can just an example.
Yeah, it can be
it's okay.
Good point. It can be a and actually. So what I spoke is condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, and we can take a and of all these.
Yeah.
And we can create a target variable saying these look like a fraud profile, right?
Yeah.
Right. That can be one approach.
Yeah, right.
So once we decide that we are going with a classification approach, and we are kind of deciding the fraud, labeling the data by some rule-based engine and by taking business consent, then obviously we will go deeper in what kind of hypothesis we will have. Hypothesis means assumption, right? For example, all these things we have spoken now. Somebody who comes online in the night, or somebody who changes profile pictures regularly, somebody who chat looks suspicious. All these guys are little suspicious, okay? And we will capture data around these only, right? So tell me some of the hypotheses. For example, I'm writing here hypothesis ID 1. So hypothesis description can be something like person coming online during midnight. Just an example here.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
To contradict my statement that I previously did, if a person regularly changes his profile, that's a suspicious person as well. Also, if if a person has only one profile picture for several months, or a long time period, that profile is as well is suspicious as well.
So another hypothesis. Like a name matches its originality, right? If he is an like example, he is in Tamil Nadu, means if his name like that, it matches, right? So
number of reports.
Some fake card is like you say some foreign name like Ragnar or Rolo. That kind of names will get under foreigns. So I'm saying is that
Yeah,
these
yeah. Basic
these name
profile details
these
you
name
meant to.
matches with the countries or some regions. They does not matches with any other profile descriptions. Right?
Yeah, like name, address,
It will be change. Yeah, like a name, address, and country, city.
country, city. If these things are not in sync, right?
So
If
yeah, if this not zinc, then this is maybe a hypothesis.
then maybe a fraud profile.
Yeah,
We are just taking few hypotheses.
Also, the number of reports,
Yeah.
how many times the person has been reported.
Yeah, number of times reported.
As fraud.
Yeah, number of times reported as fraud. More, if this number is more, then more possibility, right?
Yes.
Higher the number, more the possibility. Okay, what else?
Hmm.
Anything else from the activity point of view? Maybe somebody sending many requests in a day, like
yeah. That will include.
yeah,
So that could be a hypothesis.
number of requests per day or hour.
Per day. Yeah.
Per day or any metric we can capture, per day, hour, or month, whatever.
Hmm.
And
If
some may have like filters, right? They have these kind of people are looking for, these kind of people are looking for. So it varies person to person, right? Specifically, example, if a profile looking for a person who works
Yes.
or who non-works, so that depends, right? So if fraud will, I mean, a victim will chooses every person's.
Mhm.
I mean, he chooses randomly and he will suggest for every notification he get on.
Yeah,
So that may be a
So
hypothesis.
the way we have a tagline for LinkedIn, if we have a tagline for this as well, if that tagline is suspicious, the headline, something below the name, if that's suspicious, that could be a metric as well.
very good point actually, because some people will write something very strange, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Introduction, for example, we write in LinkedIn data scientist or looking for data science role, and somebody might
Just like
write very
just like
for example, Bitcoin miner or something, right?
yeah.
So what should I write here? Profile.
Suspicious headline, profile headline,
Yeah,
description. Okay, that would be good. Description.
profile headlines or description.
Suspicious.
If suspicious or kind of not very generic, maybe a fraud profile. Okay, one more thing we will add here. I just randomly put 7, we can add more.
Yeah.
What else? People who come with the wrong intention, what else they will do? They will use maybe different credit cards for their members.
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
So
also, sir, the email ID, the mail ID, it might be suspicious. Not as regular.
Yeah,
if I am a legit person, I can use my legit email ID, right? The day-to-day email ID. But if a fraud person is trying to come into this, then he might be using another email ID which is not his personal email ID.
But how do we know that? For example, some people will keep I love my father at gmail.com. That is their permanent email ID.
but we can compare with other factors as well. If the way you told and factor, we just add if this is there, then
that will also come as a part of profile only. So email ID and age and all these things is profile. So we have covered 2-3 points in profile. Anything else? So I think from payment point of view or from transaction point of view, we should add something.
Yeah. So some unknown credits or awkward credit card or debit they may use. So it should be noted.
That information this platform will have, yes. So if I'm making a card payment, then platform will know from which card I'm making payment. So what I can say here, I can say various modes of payment.
Yeah.
And also, I think people who come for some wrongdoing, they will not take a very long membership, right? They will take membership for 1 month and try to do something in that. And then they will, if they are not successful, then they will take for 1 more month. So they will make many times payment, various modes of payment and frequency of payment or membership, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are some of the hypotheses here. We can keep adding, right? So now in 5-10 minutes, we are able to think this much. So generally in projects, we will, team will sit and everyone's experience, we will keep adding this. Okay. But the important thing or purpose of the video is to make audience understand how do we think, okay, and what is the process flow. So first we went through the business problem, then we understand different, these things also will be discussed. Okay, we closed in like 5 minutes, but these things will be discussed with experts. What kind of approach, what kind of target variable. Then we discuss hypothesis. Once we have hypothesis, then only we decide what are the data sources we need. Okay. So every time we are talking about, being online in the night, that is nothing but activity. Every time we are talking about chats, that is nothing but activity. Okay. And here I can add here personal details or profile, right? So this is the area around which you will need data. So one area is activity. Okay. Other area is around membership or around plan or around all those area. Okay. Third area is personal details. Fourth area is, let's say, what was based on our hypothesis. What is the other area? Suspicious words. This is your activity only. This is your profiles, and this is like who is if somebody is telling, reporting this person is a fraud, right? That is also activity.
Yeah.
Headline.
Yeah, headline is personal detail or profile details.
So payments. Payment methods.
Payment or membership. We can keep it in one or
that is covered.
So these are at high level. Okay. So when you give data requirement to your business, then you give at high level first. For example, you say that I will need payment and transaction data. Okay. Then you say that I need activity data. Then you say that I need social media activity data. Then you can say I need membership data. I need personal detail data. I need, whatever higher level. Okay. And in this, you can go to lower level. Like the Gaurav was talking in the beginning, right? So in activity, what all we can capture? So for example, chat we can capture. When we talk of chat, it will be a free text, right? Natural language. In activity, we will ask to business, hey, do you have the data? If somebody is, reporting, reporting abuse. Somebody is, do you have chat data? First of all, yeah, very good point. They might not capture. Some new platforms might not capture the chat data because that will be huge, right? But this can be useful. What we can do is we can create a dictionary kind of thing where we can put some words, okay, which is not very normal.
Like sentimental analysis or what?
Kind of. But we can create our own dictionary. For example, let's say some words like coupons, lottery, prize, or foreign travel. These are little suspicious words, right?
Yeah.
We can create a
Yeah.
dictionary of this, and we can just map our text. If these words are there, then flag as 1, otherwise 0, like that.
Yeah.
That is one from the chat. And of course, there is endless thing we can do on text. And then we can just ask the business, do you have number of times reported that data, number of times reported by a member? That is also in activity. Then we can say, do you have the data? Obviously they will have this is simple data.
Yes.
Number of time pick changed, number of time address altered,
Yes.
all these things, right? So every time address gets updated, it will get updated in the person's this thing profile, right? So on the membership,
Yeah.
we can go ahead and ask to business that, do you have membership data? Or tell me that in last 1 year or last 2 years, tell me in which months this guy is active, in which months he is a free member and he is a paid member. If he's a paid member, then what kind of membership he's taking, right? So any type of data that we can think through. I'm just writing here membership details. Okay. And personal details, all those things that we have captured, starting from name, as Rohan said, name, age,
Name,
Yeah.
email,
email.
And Instagram profile or Facebook.
Yeah, if we can get that.
social media profile.
Social
media profile.
Social media profile.
Social media accounts. Pictures, if we can do some analysis, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe personal details, or maybe somebody's giving their numbers, salary numbers, or income really high, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends.
And all these things, right? Whatever we can capture around personal details. And in payment and transaction, we can put here cards used,
Card details,
card details, count of distinct mode of payments, right?
yes.
Mode of payment. Then we can say card validity also, because sometimes people will use a card which is about to end, and throw that card away. So that will come as
and importantly, the location where the payment has been.
Very true. If the location is matching, sometimes it might happen that somebody is from Bangalore and they are based in US, so they can do the transaction from US, but mostly that can be one filter.
Yeah.
All these things we can capture. So all these things are nothing but your KPIs, right? So KPI stands for key performance indicator. So how your data is look like in the end is, here in one column you will have ID, profile ID, right? In next column you will have in the chat, if coupon word or lottery word or vacation word, rich word, these things are there. So you can create different features. Coupon present, lottery present, rich present, and 1010 flag you can populate.
Yes.
Then you will have number of times reported as one column. Then you will have number of times pick changed in one column, all these things, right?
Yeah.
Details, name, age, address, all these things, one column, right? And once we have these, then obviously we can choose our model training and results. So that becomes a little technical, so we will not discuss on that area more, because we don't have data in front of us, right?
Yeah.
If we have data, then only we can see which model will fit better to that data, right?
Yes, definitely.
Results, and then we can every time go back and see which KPIs are making more sense, which KPIs are contributing more to fraud, which KPIs are contributing less to fraud. We can always do the feature selection, feature reduction, all those things, right?
Yes.
So the overall idea here is to understand, if there is a use case, how do we approach that use case? Okay. So any inputs further from here, Gaurav and Rohan, on data collection or model training? Which model do you think will be doing better in these scenarios?
Logistic regression might work fine. We just have to separate the data according to fraud or that way.
Yeah.
In order to find the important features which are contributing to the fraud and all, we can use random forest and then do feature importance as well.
Good point.
If we want to point out which feature is contributing more.
Yeah.
Those
Very
two
good
models.
Rohan, which models from your experience you think we understood what type of data we are working with? So which model do you think will do good in this scenario, and which model do you choose? Rohan, can you hear us? Rohan, can you hear us?
Hello.
I guess.
What I'm saying is, in this type of scenario, which models do you think will work better?
Hello, Aman. So.
Yes,
Aman?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Sorry, I've got an issue.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what you're... Yeah, I'm audible.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes. I'm saying, in this kind of scenarios, which model do you think will be performing better?
So this kind, I think we can go through SVC.
Okay. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
So these includes like different. This is not in a continuous format, right? Name each columns may vary to data may vary to one side of if we represent graphically, it may changes. It not be continuous. So I think we can go for a SVC apart from linear regression. I mean logistic regression. Yeah.
Okay. So Ron is suggesting we can try SVC as well. So that might perform also good. Okay. So since we don't have data, so we anything can do good, right? So once we have the data, we need to see what is the volume and how it is performing. So that is always, all of us are machine learning guys, we know, right? So it is always trying and then getting it better at it. So how was the overall use case and overall idea? Did you guys like this use case and what we discussed?
Yes, the most important part and the most neglected part, the hypothesis we just did. It's really important to get an overview of the data, what kind of data we have in hand, or we need to solve this problem, approach this problem. It's really important. This is the step which most of us as a practitioner, before we get a job, we kind of neglect the hypothesis part, but it's really important to get started by solving a problem, for solving a problem.
Very true.
Yes, and that part we focus more, so I like that part a lot.
Rohan, did you like the idea of this and the part?
Yeah, obviously, and speaking openly, I have no experience on working. Actually, I'm pursuing final year and pursuing final year. So this is the huge experience that I've.
It's for years only.
Yeah, this is awesome, and
to open their brains. Okay, that is the purpose, to open the brains, because what happens is, whether you go to Kaggle, whether you go to learn data science, whether you go anywhere, you get a CSV file and start working.
We will directly go into the model and building so and so. So hypothesis, talking about hypothesis and problems. So it was a huge sharing. Like each one, you may get a different perception, and Gaurav may get another perception, and I may get another perception. So different perception and different hypothesis. So we came across a better idea, and yeah, this was really awesome and good to see you both. Yeah.
Very true. So thanks Gaurav and Rohan for joining this session. Okay. And stay in touch.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thanks for you, sir, for arranging such kind of amazing session. People are gonna definitely have another insight for for learning data science and machine learning, another view of seeing this. So it's a great initiative. You're taking time from your busy schedule and arranging such kind of sessions. It's really inspiring for us.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, it's really guys rocking.
Thanks Rohan. Thanks Gaurav and Rohan for joining. Okay, stay in touch. We will do another session. It will go in round robin fashion. People who have registered, I will come back to you guys again with something. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a huge pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks.
man.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks
night.
a lot.
Yeah.